additional flack for?
I caught a lot of flack behind that. But Larry, sometimes the truth hurt. I'm you know, people say, well, he's been in office for 20 years. What have he done? Every time I attempted to do something, you know how it works, Senator, every bill that I put in was defeated or not heard. If they go back and look at my record and the bills that I've introduced to try to make sure that rec centers stayed open, to make sure that we got adequate money distributed equally, I fought all that stuff. I put a bill in that said that I wanted all of the departments to share what they're doing in each district so we can see where the distribution of the money was going. People say I go downtown. Yeah, I go downtown. People want to go downtown. But when I told them that no longer will TIF and Polish be just for downtown, it's going to be in the community, I did. That's something I pushed. 51% of all new jobs in the city of Baltimore, where they receive $5,000 for contracts or $5 million in any development, 51% of all new employees have to be Baltimore City residents. So I take a lot of criticism. I don't say much about it because I don't like to toot my own horn. But if people actually go and look at everything that Jack Young done from the time he was on city council till the time he rose to president of city council to now where I'm mayor, and my budget reflected increase in funding for children. That's why it was a jointly agreed upon financial commitment by the mayor, the city council president, and the council that we give that money to recreation and parks for extended hours. So, you know, I think I'm doing everything humanly possible that I can do within my power to make sure that children and young people in Baltimore City know I'm committed to them. I created the Children Family Success, which is headed up by Teacher Edwards, to look at how we can look at the holistic approach of families so that we can drive down this crime by healing the whole family. And that's what we're trying to do. Also, I'm looking at how we can have year-round youth work program. And we're going to see if we can do a pilot program. I'm meeting with Johns Hopkins, have met with them long before anybody else even thought about it, to do year-round employment for our young people. And I'm in discussion with Ron Daniels of Hopkins, who has agreed to take a look at it. And if we can't get them to do it, I'm going to do it.
Press that is a little stronger.
Well, you know, Larry, we all know in the communities who are doing what. And to say that, you know, the stop snitching mentality in Baltimore really has to stop, Larry. And people say, well, how am I going to protect my family? I'll say this. When something happened in the white community, when there's a murder or a robbery or a shooting, those white constituents, they call and they tell. No one goes and target them. So I don't buy that all the time, Larry. You know, and not only am I calling out the community to do what's right, because it's the community that they live in, and it shouldn't be accepted that they have drug dealing on their corners every day, and they know who it is, guns being hid in properties, whether it's vacant or whether it's not vacant. They're contributing to it. And so how do you expect for the police or the elected leaders to do anything? And I'll also call out the police officers that are not doing right. And this commissioner was brought in to root out the corruption. And it's not the entire police department. It's a small fraction of it, you know? So we can't indict a whole police department for just a few. You know, just like you can't indict all elected officials. I mean, you know, the community have to stand up. And that's all I'm gonna say, they have to stand up. It's being up almost 70%, 78%, and homicides up 28%. I'm definitely not happy with that. But we do have some positive things going on in the city of Baltimore. You know, we have our rec centers that's going to be open on Saturday, something that haven't happened since the 70s when I was, you know, a young guy. Having rec centers staying open till 9. Some of them stayed open till 10. It all depends on whether the director really wanted to stay there on their own time to do those kind of things. So we got that going on. And we also got the youth fund that's still rolling. You know, there's about $23 million in there that's going to be distributed to grassroots organizations. And I know there's some organizations that I felt should have gotten that money didn't get it. but we have nothing to do with that process. As you know, the Associated Black Charities is just a fiduciary, agent that helps get the money out the door. But there's other elements where it's community driven. That's why I said from the start we didn't want to politicize this fund. Now, some of the concerns that were brought to my attention, I did mention to Lester, because Lester is intimately, involved in, taking back messages of what the public have relayed to him. And I'm hoping that they have heard those concerns and that they're going to try to adjust. Now, we can't control them.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, for 1 second. So are you saying that the black charities will be involved once again this year?
Yes, it's 1 year because they are charged with setting up the intermediary that will, when the RFP go out, they will make sure that RFP is done and done correctly, and whoever win the RFP will be the entity that will get the funds from the youth fund and disperse those funds. We could not hold up this process, because if we did that, no funds would be going out, none.
But from a perception standpoint, and I'm not playing judge or jury, but what I can do on this show is look at perception. It's not a good look for this entity, whether guilty or innocent, but the perception that they were involved directly or indirectly with the previous administration's scandal, and then to have their name attached to this, it's not a good look.
Coach, ABC did nothing wrong, and I will not stand by that anybody tarnish the reputation of Diane. Diane is a person of integrity, and all they do is receive the money, and it's like a pass-through. Diane Bell McCoy is well respected throughout the entire state of Maryland, and they did nothing wrong. That's why when the council looked at the bill to extend it, and it was scrutinized to make sure that everything was above board, and there was no wrongdoing on their part at all. Down there, more attractive for everybody. It's not a gentrification of keeping black folks from coming there. It's going to be a combination of everything, and it's going to be a welcoming place for everybody. From some of the plans I've seen, it's a big opening like it is now, but it's going to be elevated where you can have community-based projects in there, meetings, all kinds of things. But it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful project. And as they build it out, I'll have the principals from Seawall to come in and talk to you more about that.
Appreciate
I've
that.
seen some preliminary plans, and I'm excited about the way it's going to look. I'm excited that it's going to be inclusive of everybody. I would like to see buses roll back up there once we reduce the crime in the city of Baltimore by engaging our citizens and getting them into training programs. Those who want to be in training programs, we're going to try to help them get into that. Those who need drug treatment, we want them to really get the drug treatment that they're seeking so we can reconnect them back with families. And even the homeless, some of them out there with mental health issues, some of them are veterans, connecting them and connecting the dots with the organization that can help them the most. Like the veterans should be at the Veterans Administration getting the help that they need. The other ones who have mental health issues should be dealt with through our medical system. And those who have drug addictions, I look at that as a health issue there, where we should really be focusing on not just the addicted, but the whole family. Because once you're addicted, it affects the whole family.